If the idea of immortalizing a mark on your body has been running through your mind, it is absolutely crucial that you dedicate a significant amount of time to reflection before moving forward with this decision. This is not a step to be taken based solely on a momentary impulse or a fleeting excitement. A choice of such relevance demands maturity and careful consideration. The burden of regret becomes tolerable when there is a real opportunity to undo the mistake, to go back and fix the error. However, when we refer to something as permanent as a tattoo, that chance of reversal is, practically speaking, almost null. For this reason, it is essential that you have total clarity and discernment. Any choice in this universe carries your signature, and you will be the only person to face the results, whether positive or negative. In the vast world of body art, we find an immense diversity of options. There are those minimalist tattoos, barely noticeable, almost invisible to an inattentive eye. Conversely, there are complex works that cover extensive portions of the skin and are loaded with intimate symbolisms and meanings. However, it is vital to recognize that not every artistic manifestation is harmless. Some options can go far beyond a simple matter of aesthetics or taste, potentially jeopardizing your physical integrity, your safety, and in extreme cases, even your very life. This is the Fatos Entre Mundos channel, and it is a great pleasure to welcome you here. If you are interested in mysteries and surprising information, subscribe now so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course, show your support for our work by leaving a like. Your like and subscription greatly strengthen our channel. Now that the primary warning has been given and you have been duly alerted, let's dive into today's topic and discover the 6 most dangerous tattoos that, under no circumstances, you should consider getting. Prepare yourself, because the reasons behind this list have the potential to shock and surprise many people. Number 6. The Caveirão. When we mention the word Caveirão, the image that immediately comes to mind is frequently the armored vehicle that security forces use to access high-risk zones during police interventions. However, when this term is carried over into the context of tattoos, it acquires an entirely distinct and undeniably much more nefarious connotation. The Caveirão design is considered one of the most frightening and respected emblems within the global crime underworld. And this fear is not unfounded. Engraving this image on one's skin is equivalent to flaunting a symbol of violence and brutal executions. It serves as an indicator that the individual is associated with factions or extermination groups, organizations that convene for a macabre purpose, to take human lives on their own accord, acting with a complete absence of compassion and without the slightest respect or submission to the prevailing legal system. This design is perceived by many as a sinister emblem of parallel justice, often executed ruthlessly. For the individual who chooses to display the Caveirão on their body, the old proverb that states, "He who lives by the sword shall die by the sword," is not merely a saying, but rather a strictly followed code of conduct. Number 5. The Saci Pererê. In the organized crime environment, the tattoo representing the Saci Pererê functions as a true secret code of identification. Its presence on the skin is not casual. It operates similarly to the symbol known as the aviãozinho, little airplane, which in drug trafficking slang designates the individual responsible for transporting narcotics between suppliers and points of sale. Whoever possesses this mark can be promptly identified by their peers. This design, therefore, serves to immediately reveal the exact role the bearer plays in the criminal structure. They are an active transporter or a direct handler of illicit substances. Furthermore, the tattooed Saci often signals that the person is the technical manager responsible for the preparation of narcotics, regardless of the substance, marijuana, cocaine, crack, or other compounds. These individuals are in charge of crucial tasks such as performing mixtures, cutting, and refining the drugs, making this tattoo a true corporal signature of their trade. Thus, upon encountering someone who exhibits this design, it is prudent to remain vigilant and on alert. What at first glance might seem like a simple and innocent homage to a traditional character serves as a tacit message that betrays that person's direct connection to the dangerous world of drug trafficking. Number 4. Barbed wire, the silent sentence. In this topic, the popular expression jail tattoo takes on a particularly somber and direct connotation within the prison universe. The design of barbed wire on the skin serves as a visual code that delineates the profile and destiny of two very specific types of incarcerated individuals. The first profile is that of the escapee, who adopts this tattoo as an emblem of their expertise. It symbolizes their remarkable ability to orchestrate complex escape plans and carry out secret, advantageous negotiations within the strict rules of the prison system. The second profile, however, is much more dangerous. The individual who is classified as an informant or snitch. In this case, the mark is imposed often brutally and forcibly, serving as a cruel and permanent warning applied by other inmates as punishment for snitching. In both cases, flaunting this tattoo is the same as carrying a sentence of imminent risk. It reinforces the atmosphere of tension and echoes the well-known prison maxim, "A snitch dies young." This unique mark radiates a mixture of respect and terror within the prison environment, acting as a kind of highly effective silent language among the inmate population. Beyond everything, the barbed wire tattoo serves to delineate territories and consolidate established internal hierarchies. Consequently, anyone who displays it must be constantly prepared to face suspicious glances and, inevitably, confrontations or retaliation at any moment. Number 3. The carp. The carp tattoo, originally inspired by rich Eastern culture, where it symbolizes perseverance and strength, has unfortunately been re-signified and absorbed by the criminal world, acquiring a completely distorted and functional meaning in the underworld. The orientation of the fish on the person's body is what transmits the most crucial and specific messages in the language of criminality. For example, if the carp's head is positioned upwards, this is a clear indication that the individual holds a position of relevance and authority. Frequently, such a position suggests they are the leader or boss of a faction or gang. However, when we find a carp with the design somehow altered or modified, this variation typically points to the existence of singular privileges and the prominence the bearer has achieved within the structure of the criminal organization. What could have remained a simple and beautiful work of body art transforms in this context into a powerful symbol of high status, recognized influence, and consequently, extreme risk within the underworld. This tattoo is in fact a form of power communication that requires no words. It acts as a tacit and ostensible warning, both to rival groups and to the organization's own members. The individual who displays the carp in this manner demonstrates consolidated experience, a respect that was hard-earned, and an undeniable capacity for leadership in the universe of crime. Number 2. Chuck, the doll of perilousness. The tattoo of the character Chuck, inspired by the notorious killer doll from horror movies, carries an enormous burden of dark meanings when displayed on the skin. In the universe of criminality, this design is not a simple pop culture reference, but rather an emblem that signals an extremely aggressive personality, an extensive history of crimes, and a high index of dangerousness in the individual. It is very common for murderers and active members of criminal factions to choose to display this tattoo, which transforms it into an unmistakable silent warning sign for everyone around. Attention, fans of the horror genre. If the idea of immortalizing Chuck's image on your body has ever crossed your mind, reflect deeply and reconsider this decision. The true meaning of this tattoo within certain circles greatly transcends what is seen on cinema screens and can, in practice, generate dangerous and undesirable consequences in your life. This mark on the skin is not merely symbolic, as it manages to convey a powerful message of intimidation and imposed respect within the crime underworld. Additionally, bearing it can have the collateral effect of attracting unwanted attention from both authorities and rival factions or enemies, drastically increasing the level of risk and danger in the bearer's routine. Therefore, the decision to get a Chuck tattoo must be made with maximum awareness and with a complete understanding of the seriousness and the weight that this symbol carries. Number 1. The clown or the joker. The clown or joker tattoo is, without a doubt, the most controversial and highly charged symbol on this list. While it can be linked to a variety of crimes, its most frequent and recurring meaning is involvement in robbery and murder. During robbery, homicide linked to theft, The individual who chooses to display this mark not only demonstrates considerable experience and a prominent status within the faction hierarchy, but also transmits an explicit and challenging message. They are an extremely dangerous subject with the proven capacity to assassinate police members or openly confront the law. It is an emblem of great dark weight, which carries within it a record of extreme violence and a power conquered through crime. If, for a moment, you considered the idea of tattooing this popular and fun character, it is imperative that you seriously reconsider. This mark does not represent a joke, and the act of being forced to explain its meaning in certain situations can be risky and dangerous. We sincerely thank you for taking the time to follow this content until the end. If you enjoyed the video and found the information relevant, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the Fatos Entre Mundos channel, and share this material, which is essential to help our work reach and inform more and more people. A big hug, and until the next opportunity. And remember to always stay alert, because the world is full of stories and meanings that deserve your attention.